Hello, and welcome to SCG Global Spin. Your host today is Michael Lee. Michael is a partner at Dilinh Legal with over 14 years of experience in Vietnam. Joining Michael is Diep Hoang. Diep is the founding partner of Dilinh Legal.
Hi, everybody. I am Diep Hoang from Dilinh Legal, and this is my colleague, my partner, Michael Lee. And we're very happy to share with you some information about COVID and how we are doing and how our clients are doing during COVID and what they look forward when it's in the middle of the years already. So let me give you a bit about the COVID situation in Vietnam. In early May, we have the fourth wave of COVID, and especially in Ho Chi Minh City, where our head office is, we are having like a small lockdown. So actually, we are not allowed to gather more than 5 people in public, and also on the restaurants, and are not allowed to dine in, and most of the shops are closed. However, all the offices are allowed to be open as long as we have imposed certain measures to protect our staff. Mike, you want to talk about how we are dealing with COVID?
Right. Vietnam, less affected than most countries with COVID, less affected economically in general. Manufacturing is a big industry sector here, and they have not been shut down because the infection rates have been very low. I think the highest it's gotten is around 5,000, and that's right now. It's kind of the worst it's ever been. And that's in the whole country of more than 100 million people, right?
Yeah.
So, it's a very good situation. The manufacturing is still going, although, there's a current scare in the manufacturing areas in the north right now with some of these industrial areas having new infections, right? So that might change, but so far so good, and so the Vietnamese economy has been fairly good during this, but still everything is hospitality and certain industries, transportation and certain industries are going to be very, very badly hit. Of course, restaurants are often closed and so forth. So the economy is not great, even still. It's just better than most countries, I think. And so we've our revenue has been hit, but in general, we've been operating normally. Everybody still comes to work. People generally, we have a very small team, so about 10 people, so we don't really wear masks. And it's kind of for us, clients still visit us, so it hasn't been really a huge impact on the way we operate.
Yeah, but we find it really difficult, and we really do make certain changes in terms of our marketing strategy. I still remember, like before COVID, Michael and I spent certain times during the year. At least each of us will do at least like 2 trips abroad, attending events, seminars, and doing marketing for the firms. We do physical meeting and physical marketing. That's how that's how we do. But for now, we have to adjust, and we try to do online marketing, and also we found it even more cost efficient, and also more effective than all the physical meeting. So I think this is also, even though we love seeing people, and meet up with people, but during the COVID, and I don't think that the situation will get better or change by the end of the year. So this new kind of marketing also a new thing that we have to learn. And also even though Vietnam in general economy is not be affected by the COVID. However, we see that clients are also more concerned when it comes to spending on legal. So I think that in the long run, I think our business will be affected.
Right. The pandemic is definitely had a huge economic impact all over the world. And yeah, I see the clients are more conservative and they don't want to spend. They're halting expansions and so forth. For the most part, M&A activity is down, right?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, so it's going to affect our business a bit. I mean, we've suffered a pretty significant revenue drop in 2020, and probably continue to do so this year, right? So I think it's going to be, but I mean, we're fine. It's still, we've been kind of still lucky to have work and still be financially sound. So it's good. And then in terms of our clients, then we've talked to, for example, a pharmaceutical company, and so it's a similar in how they react to the COVID situation. You know, in terms of marketing, so pharmaceutical companies, they do a lot of like live seminars and symposiums. That's one of the ways they market. They also meet so with healthcare professionals, right, through drug introductors. They call it drug introductors, med reps, right? And so obviously that can't happen anymore. So that's got to be curtailed. It doesn't. I think it still goes on. I think symposiums are almost stopped, but in-person meeting with healthcare doctors and healthcare professionals, that's going to have to change a bit. And so there's a transfer to like Zoom meetings and calls and so forth. So, and digital marketing as well. So that, you know, that they're gonna adapt to the COVID situation like everybody else in that way. Marketing, work location and station. I mean, office location. I think they also have to consider like social distancing and in terms of workstation. Some people, not all of the staff, if you have a large group of staff, not all of them can be in office at the same time, so they have rules on that. A lot of homework, right? Like work from home situations, especially when there's like outbreak alerts. So that's going to be another situation for work management, for safety, and in the finance of their business. Of course, that's going to be affected as well. So less, if you have OTC drugs, for example, less people during the pandemic are going to go to pharmacies, right? They're just going to go out less, buy less, and so the OTC sales are going to drop as well. So it's kind of predictable, you know, certain types of products because of the lockdown situation, the COVID situation. Yes, a decrease in diarrhea products and increase in constipation products for some reason because of the COVID situation. So it's going to affect certain products. On every industry, it's going to be different. Generally negative, unfortunately. Sometimes positive. I think e-commerce companies, there's a huge boost for them. And so that's the situation for business.
We also talk to our clients about the outlook of 2000 by the end of 2021 and also 2022, and what the business will look like, and also personal, you know, my personal opinion is, you know, Vietnam, at least Vietnam, it will not be normal by the end of this year. You know, we still because of the very slow in the vaccination. I think now we only have like less than 1% of population getting vaccinated, and I don't think that Vietnam will open the border any soon. You know, now any foreigner entering the country will have to go through like 3 weeks quarantine, and you have to pay for the quarantine hotel, and it makes the cost for any trip to Vietnam now is super expensive. And a lot of our clients having trouble in getting visas and getting flights to Vietnam. And I don't think that this policy will change any soon. So moving forward, I think that we still have to live on the edge, you know, with COVID, at least by the end of this year. I think there's still a lot of like travel restriction and also the government will still impose certain distant measures in workplace and even in public. And Mike, what do you think about like work from home will that be the new norm, that the companies will have to deal with it, for at least a year from now?
Well, I think the several factors. I mean, other countries like the U.S. are getting vaccinated quite fast, and there's a high percentage of vaccinations. Then again, there are other countries there that cannot afford or didn't plan sufficiently, like Vietnam, and so less than 1% vaccination rate, right? So if you cannot get that, and then the ultimate solution is everybody's vaccinated, right? But it's not just you, but your neighbors and everybody else coming into the country. And so if Vietnam cannot do that, the vaccination of its citizens, then this COVID situation, I mean, it's going to be, the travel restrictions are going to still remain quite tight. I think it could be quite restrictive. Although maybe, if they'll have a program where it was 7 days for vaccinated people, right, coming into the country for certain countries. So that might work, and that might help things a bit. Instead of 21 days, reduced to 7 days quarantine for people who have certificates of vaccination from certain countries. So that might help the situation a bit, but it's very bad right now. 3 weeks. I mean, only very, very serious people who need to do business in Vietnam will come and spend 21 days in quarantine in a government mandated location and paying very, very high fees. I think it's like $5,000.
Yeah.
So it's very restricted. There won't be tourists doing that, right? So
So now the government is calling, all the companies, all the organizations that, and they encourage those companies and organizations to reach out to other countries for vaccine. So if you, have any source of vaccine for importation, the government is more than welcome with that. And they said that they will like shorten all the process and procedure for vaccine importation, so that this will help the country to kind of promote and keep up with the vaccination with other countries. Mike, as I asked you, do you like work from home at all, or do you think that it's so inefficient and
Yeah, personally, I mean, for the legal profession, I think it's much more efficient to be near your associates and your colleagues to process the work. I mean, I especially feel that because one is a language issue, right?
Yeah.
Vietnamese, a lot of things have to be read and done in Vietnamese, and so I have to work with a Vietnamese colleague for that portion of the work. So that's my situation. But I think even you, right? You feel.
Oh,
yeah,
I love my workstation, and I want to have colleagues around. I want to be in a quiet room, not at home, and I hear kids and I hear noise of the neighbors. It's very distracted. But we still, if the government asks us to do, we still do it. But I still prefer, working in the office where I have my computer, I have my printer, I have colleagues, I have all the law books around me. But maybe we need to change, maybe that kind of traditional working will change. The younger generation, they don't mind work from home,
Right.
So I think maybe that's something we have to adapt for the future.
Right. Yeah, I mean, some aspects of legal work I think can be done from home. It just you need to just have the discipline to do it.
Yeah.
So
and Mike, we are in the middle of like a small lockdown now, and then we usually we'll have a pretty good lunch somewhere, and we talk about things. And now what we all do is to order food in, and then eat in those like plastic bag or like plastic box. What do you think about all of those like plastic waste that we throw, during the pandemic. Oh my God, that's a lot, right?
Well, that's another
Oh,
topic.
that's another topic that, after the COVID, the world have to deal with, and all the masks that we wear. Yeah, so
Right.
so I think
Too much plastic, right?
yeah.
The world produces too many plastic products and disposable products, creating a lot of waste.
We usually don't really wear masks before COVID. I think only in Vietnam people ride motorbikes. So only the people who ride the motorbikes and they want to protect themselves from the sun and the dust, they do wear masks, but it's not mandatory. It's not a habit. But now I see people start wearing, even not being asked, they start wearing masks because I think it becomes a habit and people feel safe with the mask.
Yeah. Well, Vietnam is a lot of the travel is done by motorbike or scooters. So and almost all scooter drivers wear masks.
Yeah.
Right, because of fumes and toxic, like vehicle fumes, I suppose. So I think in that respect, Vietnam has an advantage with the epidemic because people are used to wearing some kind of mask. I mean, almost everybody drives scooters, and they all wear masks. So when you tell them to wear, other types of masks, protective surgical masks or whatever, the mask for the pandemic, then they're kind of okay with it. I mean, you see people kind of, even when they're not driving scooters, wearing masks. I'm not sure why, but I used to see that even before the pandemic. I used to see people just walking around with it. I guess maybe they don't take it off, or they just feel. I feel like some people, they just wear it just because it's fashionable or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, so it was quite common and very, very mask heavy country even before the pandemic. So we have an advantage.
Very, very much Asian,
Yeah, very, yeah.
Yeah, we this is not the first time we deal with the pandemic. Before this, we have SARS, which is even in terms of the death rate, it's even higher. I think it's early 2000. So it happened in Vietnam, China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. So this is not the first time we deal with a kind of like very contagious virus. So I think we know how dangerous it could be. That's why people take all of those like health measures really serious.
Right, but perhaps the use of the masks here, the almost universal use of the mask and following government directives in terms of wearing masks outside, maybe that's the reason why we've been so lucky with COVID. I think it might be a reason.
We have a lot of travel plan for 2022, but it all depends on how the world together handle this. We hope that some countries like US and some part of Europe are getting very well with the vaccination. However, most of the countries in Asia are quite behind the vaccination. I hope that all of the countries, big countries, can help others with the vaccination so that the world can be normal and we can meet up people, we can travel, and we can be normal again. I think that's all I want to share for today.
I think moving forward, there's going to be like certain clusters of countries that are highly vaccinated and maybe have low COVID risk in terms of travel between the countries. And so certain countries are going to be opened up that way. For the whole world to open up, that's going to take a while because vaccination, I think, is worldwide vaccination, maybe 2 years, and it'll be back to normal.
Goodbye, and we hope you enjoy our talk.
Thank you all for listening to our presentation on COVID situation in Vietnam.
And that concludes our recording. Thank you for joining us today. You can find this and many other episodes at scgglobalspin.com.